today's a very good day because today we're going to learn a very awesome technique called the 30-60-90 right triangle theorem. So for the agenda, I want to review our goal. I want to review what we know, and then we'll dig into the 30-60-90 theorem, and at the end I'll show you why it works. So let's begin with our goal. So remember that our goal is to solve triangles, finding all the lengths as well as all of the angles. Now, what we know is a Pythagorean theorem. And if we can package in one sentence what Pythagorean theorem does, it would go somewhere along the lines as, if you know two sides of a right triangle, Pythagorean theorem will deliver the third. So today we're going to upgrade this idea, because if we know the ratios, only one side is needed. And recall that in the previous lesson you practiced how to work with one side and one ratio. Today we're going to upgrade everything. So let's take a look at this 30-60-90 theorem, and here is a diagram. And here's what this says. If you have a 30-60-90 triangle, which we do right here, we have a 30-degree, 60-degree, and a 90-degree, then we are guaranteed that the hypotenuse is twice the length of the small leg, which is always across 30 degrees. So the small leg is always going to be across 30 degrees. And here we're guaranteed that the hypotenuse is going to be twice the size of the small length. On the other hand, the length of the middle side, which is always across 60 degrees, is √3 of the small side. So the middle side, that one's always going to be across 60 degrees, and we're guaranteed that the middle side is going to be the small side multiplied by √3. I'm well aware that I just bombarded you with a bunch of information, and this may look complicated at first, but I promise you that it's very easy to apply, and you'll see that these kinds of triangles are very nice, and we'll be able to solve for the missing sides with ease. So let's look at the first example. Observe the following 30-60-90 triangle with only one side given. So we are given 6 here. Now I have to determine the two other sides, H and M. Recall that the hypotenuse is always across the 90-degree angle, which is why here I labeled it as H. And now we know that the middle side, we just learned that the middle side is always going to be across the 60-degree angle. And we know that the smallest side is always going to be across 30-degree angles. So here we have the small side. The small side was given to us. And since we're given a 30-60-90 triangle, we can use these ratios. These ratios tell us how to navigate from one side to the other. Here, since we have the small side, we can use the small side to navigate through the hypotenuse by multiplying by 2. We can also use the small side to navigate to the middle side by multiplying by √3. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So starting at the small side, to get to the hypotenuse, I'm going to have to multiply times 2. And 6 times 2, that's going to give us 12. To navigate from the small side to the middle side, I can multiply by √3. And 6 times √3, that's just going to be 6 √3. And we're done. That's it. We figured out H, we figured out M. We were able to determine the other two sides using a 30-60-90 triangle. And that's all there is to this. Let's just do one more example so you can get started with the practice. Now we're doing the same thing. Observe the following 30-60-90 triangle with only one side given. Determine the other two sides. This time we're given this length, which is across the 90-degree angle. That's telling the reader that we were given the hypotenuse this time. Hypotenuse. The diagram I shared with you tells us how to navigate when we have the small side. Well, secretly, it's actually telling us how to navigate using any side. For example, if I start at the hypotenuse and if I want to get to the small side, instead of multiplying by 2, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 2. Same thing here. If I want to start at the middle side, in order to navigate to the small side, I can do the opposite and divide by radical 3. So that's the approach we're going to take here. So remember that in order to navigate starting at the small side and navigating towards the hypotenuse, we usually multiply by 2. But this time, we don't want to go from small to hypotenuse. We want to go to hypotenuse to small. So we're going to divide by 2. So to go the other direction, I'm going to divide by 2. So we get that S is equal to 15 over 2, and that gives us 7.5. And now we can get to the middle side, because from the small side, if we want to navigate towards the middle side, all we have to do is multiply by radical 3. So the middle side is going to be 7.5 radical 3. And we're done. So go ahead and try out the rest of the examples, and at the end I'll give you a derivation on why these ratios are true. Why is it that on 30, 60, 90 triangles we can do this? Why can we multiply by 2 and why we can multiply by radical 3? So that's going to be towards the end. And I'll see you in the next lesson.